session. Just checking if all the participants from the social concern category have returned to their seats. Please put up your hands. Social concern category. Yeah, I need to wait for 10 more minutes. Is the next presenter here? You can just check your presentation and get ready. Yes, good afternoon. Once again calling for participants in the social concern category. Please put up your hands. Yes. I think we are good to roll. Just a minute. Requesting Professor Saubhagya to pick the next presenter.
Respected jurors and faculty, seeing the topic of my thesis, which is multi-story and experiential cinema hub in Ladosarai, New Delhi. To begin with, why cinema as an important driving force for thesis was selected? It's because cinema as a cultural tool has always held important significance in Indian culture and context for almost a century now. And it is something that is valued, that brings people together, it holds the community together. But in terms of architectural spaces, it is still lacking Sarai, which itself has a lot of cultural and historical relevance. Cinema theaters throughout history have experienced a lot of changes, from stage theaters to cinemas as we see today, and also with OTT as a location where there are open spaces but they're not usable to people. There are a lot, the area is very dense in terms of population and construction, but there are not available spaces for people to interact, for people to connect. The precinct already experiences a lot of footfall, tourist or generic footfall on a day-to-day basis, and the the gentrification of that environment or of that precinct has also risked the historical factor of with the presence of Qutub Minar in the precinct. So the thesis attempts to address these concerns on the site while also integrating cinema as a driving force for the project. The site is, as you can see on the map of Delhi, it's located in the South Delhi zone, right across the Qutub Minar precinct. And the project proposition is to intends to achieve certain cultural, collaborative, and community driven spaces which can bring back people into a holistic environment and not have them segregated into their own personal zones. People together for that culturally important tool. So coming to the users, the user groups were derived based on interest, age, and the context of the site. Because of the kind of project or to address the cinematic quality of it, it's something that is beyond age restrictions. It's something that every age group or every community or every person with a different interest may be able to enjoy. And similarly, based on context, as you can see, and also from the demographic studies, there are a lot of generic public, students, working professionals, industry-related professionals as well in the context of the site and in Delhi in general. So the program components for this particular project were to include auditoriums, premium auditoriums, which could also hold film screenings as a direct medium, but also hold specialized screenings or interactive exhibits around the cinematic industry. Exploration galleries where there can be various exhibit processes brought to people, students or individuals who want to learn more about the Indian cinema or the international cinema in general. An open air theatre, cafes and lounges as a commercial aspect, merchandise retail, another addition of commercial aspect, and offices for on-site teams to be able to manage and run the entertainment hub intactly. So for international case studies as well as Indian mixed-use development case studies to bring how can a mixed-use development be brought together with an entertainment hub, which is not just limited to a multiplex or a cinema single-screen theatre. Also addressing the urban space user scenarios. So while people are not restricted to just the interiors or being confined to the spaces within the built environment, they're also able to access spaces around the built environment. And that should be the driving force to create adaptive or multi-use public spaces. So the site, which is in Lado Sarai, is a 7.86 acre site, approximately 31,100 square meters. It's located about 10 kilometers from the central Delhi location. These are some of the landmarks understood to gauge about the demographic or the user groups that will be accessing the site on a daily basis, as well as why this site becomes relevant or prominent for such kind of a project. The site, as mentioned, is right across the Qutub Minar precinct, and it already, entire Mehrauli archaeological park and rest of the historical monuments make it relevant because they experience a daily tourist and visitor footfall. Even modern cultural landmarks within the precinct of 3-kilometer radius are relevant because they are famous for different kind of user groups, and this could have an impact on the footfall experienced on the site. Institutional landmarks also have relevance because with the kind of increasing knowledge about the media studies, cinematic studies, arts and culture, these are being taught in various institutions, and these youngsters or curious minds could access the site to gain more access to knowledge about the cinema and not feel secluded. Like I said, Delhi has not experienced or has not had such kind of an entertainment hub in totality. So these mark the various connectivity and access points, which highlights that the site is very well accessible by public, transport, pedestrians, etc. Now onto the design thinking. The project vision was to create an iconic cinematic icon or an iconic site at a city level, a heritage oasis as a community catalyst at a site level, so that it can cater to the tourists on a daily basis, the people who are living, as well as the people who are living within the vicinity or accessing the site and its surroundings for work. The major concept driving the site and its design is the visual connectivity and access leading to the Qutub Minar. That drives how the built would respond on the site, and how primarily the open spaces are targeted and the built spaces are considered around it. These movement spaces and open space structure arrive from various understanding of the traffic movement, site connectivity, accessibility of public and private transport, as well as pedestrians from the neighboring houses. It also aims to have a green integration, considering the contours on the site, as well as the green environment around it, with Sanjay Van and the Qutub Golf Course adjacent to it. And the intent to be able to, because of the existence of a lot of contours on site, it makes it relevant to have multi-level connections, so people are not just restricted to one linear phase or one zone. They're able to access various parts of the site and have an experience of the entire site as a whole. Now coming back to the multi-story, the fact that it is called multi-story with a Y is because there are various stories, like in a cinema, happening at various levels as well. It's the promenade at the basic urban level, at the site level, which is bringing people in, which is attracting as well as creating public spaces. The performances where various art forms, screening, cinema-related activities may happen, and the folly, which creates a green and a more sustainable kind of roof environment, also gauging on the views that it offers. These are the site sections aiming to describe how various levels are moving with the programs, as well as how interconnections are relevant with this linearity moving up across the levels. And through this, you can see that this is the central promenade, bifurcated at 2 levels. And with various programs placed intermixed at various levels, it gauges a direct view or a direct visual vista towards the Qutub Minar. These are the various floor plans. The ground floor plan basically is the entire exhibition gallery. The upper ground floor plans, as you see, there are multiple levels extending and moving up and down, which which are designed as per the contours of the site, keeping the contours and the natural topography of the site in mind. These are majorly dedicated to commercial spaces. Then the first floor plan is for the cinematic spaces, and this entire chunk is for office spaces or work
Please
zones and
stop
co-working.
speaking and scroll through the remaining slides. Your time is up.
These are the detailed space. So to one second. Okay. So to answer that question, which is why I have created the concept of promenade at the lower level. So it doesn't necessarily restrict you to interior cinematic spaces. It also brings you out in the open, like the plaza spaces or the open air theater spaces that have been created. These basically are louver LED facades, which are designed with the intent of being used as light features as well as projection screens. So this also has a connection with the exterior or
plan wherein the contours are there. So I wasn't actually with what you were saying. Do you have something or I missed it out?
Yes. So basically this is the central vista which looks towards the Qutub Minar. The intent of this was also, since Qutub Minar as a historical event has significance with the site, with the context, as well as has had significance with the cinematic history in India also. It's being used as an iconic tool. It's an image, or it has identity always connected with Delhi when it's projected or to gauge audiences. So that is a kind of experience that this promenade also offers while you are in the space, whichever space you may be able to enter from. If you're getting dropped off, if you're accessing the site as a regular working individual, or here to learn about experiences, or just to experience various art forms taking place in different public zones. So this basically blurs. It does not have strict boundaries to allow one person or not allow one person. It basically creates a central space where every kind of community member is able to access, as well as gauge the kind of experience that this promenade has to offer between the built structure, focusing on.
You can see it, and I can actually assess that auditorium, and this is.
Basically, this has fine lines which highlights the contours, but maybe because of the lighting, it's not properly visible, which is why I had demarcated on the site plan, which are the level differences taking place.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Can we come to the site plan?
Yes.
So your central vista is reminding me of Luton's Delhi and not of the Qutub complex. But anyways, what I want to ask is, considering this as a social, the social concern that you're trying to show here, what I want to ask is, if I'm looking at this, the Aurobindo mark, which is a very strong edge, you cannot expect people from across, participating, physically also. You're trying to create some views towards the Qutub complex, which I doubt is possible. But anyways, little gesture that you're trying to do in terms of how you're trying to, open up that area for the people from Lado Sarai to come and participate. The structure is so alien to them. The structure is so intimidating in its character that, do you really think that people from Lado Sarai will come and play a little part there in their community center that you've attached there, right? And also why a cinema experience.
And is currently an empty DDA land which is not being used, to revitalize that and to give people spaces, because there has been no development on the site for a very long time. It's being used as a dumpster. So to improve the lives of the people who are living there, they're actually able to use the site and not just used as an empty land, and also to generate more productivity and more people to be able to use the site, maybe it be students or industry professionals related to the cinema industry, or generic people who want to learn about cinema, like cinematic exhibitions are put up, and those are something that come up very very rarely in a Delhi context.
To people to run the art gallery. So in way, financially, it is helping them in some way. But again, this question that even if you have these professionals or experts of cinema coming here, how is it helping the people around? Meaning the people staying in Ladosarai or across the road in Mehroli, how is it helping them?
So definitely to generate more revenue or generate more productivity on site, which is right now a total dumpster. And so, which is why I started with cinema as a tool, because cinema halls, even though having lost a little bit of significance, are growing back. That is what the consensus also says. So this is something that people of all age groups, all interest backgrounds would like to access. If it was just only a singular gallery or something like that, which is only of interest to a very small group of people, versus cinema was taken up to be able to gauge interest of more people from various backgrounds, even people who are accessing as workers on the site, or who have offices, who've just come for commercial or merchandise related experiences, are also able to interact with the facade, the site level public spaces, and be a part of the public arena.
I wanted to commend you on your narrative, the way you put your presentation together. But I also have to pull you up to the fact that, when you attend a seminar like this, you should have done your homework and ensured that you cram it in 15 minutes. Yes. All right, all the good work went to waste, right? Having said that, at least from two sides of the road, there is no distinctive entry point. And I think if you had done that, your idea of keeping this as an open exercise would have sufficed. Right now, I see this as a ubiquitous design, which means everything everywhere, right? So it's a limitation. The second thing that I wanted to indicate here, you talked about it as a promenade, right? I don't think you have got the word promenade right for this, because go to your section, please, of that particular promenade area, and it is not a promenade. Look at the height of the buildings on either adjoining sides. It is more like a court, a central court, and not a promenade. So if you wanted to create a promenade, then it would have mean that you needed to work on the idea of stepping out your section, ensuring that there is the visibility of a promenade is more defined, right? It would have made a lot more sense if you had a promenade going there. Okay, I just had these two observations. I have no questions. Thank you.
Open to the audience. If no questions, then we move on to the next presenter.
Thank you.
I think we have one of the presenter's parents here. So can I ask Madam to make a selection?
Ma'am, can I start?
Ready to start?
Good morning
Ready
to
to
each and everyone present here. My topic is Beyond the Borders Zoocultural Village. So we'll move into the description later. First of all, I want to talk about the place that will be serving as an epicenter of the project. It's in Mizoram. It's a state in northeast India, with Aizawl as its capital city. It is a critical border state that shares international borders with Myanmar and Bangladesh, and the northern part shares domestic borders with Manipur, Assam, and Tripura. So if we talk about the community that will be involved in this project, it is the Zo people, which is a term to denote all the speakers of the Kuki-Tsing languages who inhabit areas of India, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. So if we trace back to their origin, like the furthest that we can trace is in the Yangtze River, which is in China. And then because of conflicts between the Chinese and the Chiang ancestors, there was a conflict between them because of livestock. So they had to move further down southwest, and then they entered Myanmar in 700 AD. And from there, they have been moving further down and reached Cabo Valley in 800 AD. And this is from here we have dispersed to different states, which is Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, and Chittagong of Bangladesh. So it's basically showing that we have been staying in one place in the past. So an in-depth study that they had been known to weaving culture prior to 4th AD. So if we see from the map, the Zo people entered Mizoram, that is India, in 1700 AD. And Tan Hills, when they were in the Tan Hills, because there was a harsh climate there, they had a drawback in development, so they had to, and when they moved to Len Hills, they had the cotton renaissance or the revival, and cotton production thrived in favorable conditions. So we can see the GI tags, the 4 GI tags in the right, and then towards the left, the Mizoram Pwanse, which is found in Mizoram. So our GI tags were found in Myanmar. So it was reported that around 47,297 people are there, locally displaced people residing in Mizoram as of February, where 9,000 plus are from Manipur and 32,000 were from Myanmar. So it was brought about by the recent May ethnic violence that erupted in Manipur and the 2021 military coup from Myanmar. So if we see the impact, talking about the impact of refugee influx in our state, Myanmar is now the world's largest opium producer according to UNODC, and the military coup is a driving surge in illicit opium poppy production as desperate farmers seek alternative livelihoods, as we can see in the picture below. So if we see the map towards the right, that is a map of Myanmar where the east side is providing to Thailand, China, and further down to Australia, and towards the west side in Jin Hills, that is providing it to India. So the Suknu Tumore exists in Manipur, and the Kolosip to Zokotor exists in Mizoram, are the routes of heroin circulation in India. And there are more than 50 crossing points throughout the border, which is guarded by Assam Rifles, and maximum seizures have been made in Champhai district of Mizoram. So this was what I found when I was going for case study, going undercover. The first picture was taken by me, where a passenger sitting with me was seized because he had 1.2 kilograms of heroin, which was around 600 lakhs, and he was from Myanmar. So they have been disguised in soap boxes, as we see in the picture on the right. And so before we move further ahead, there is one thing that we want to know, which is the free movement regime, where people from Myanmar are allowed to come into our state, because we have a 16-kilometer radius allowance for them to come in. So my site falls under that radius. And so this is what my project will be. It is an integrated business cultural village that gives asylum to locally displaced people, and it will provide experimental IC4, which is a replicable economic model to counter poppy cultivation's influence, and also bamboo and wood, locally sourced materials. Also vernacular architecture will be used. These are the list of bamboo species that I will be using on the site. It is 7 from 35 species that we have identified. And I have used lumping bamboo and not running bamboo because they are not invasive. And these are also the ones that are being used in Bali, Indonesia. So it will be of the Bambusa and the Dendrocalamus genera. And we have this muli bamboo, which is the most dominant bamboo that grows in Mizoram, but because it is invasive, I won't be considering that into my project. So for my case studies, I have been going to 3 places for distinct purposes. The first one is Tembang, which is a 1,000 in one site. And the next is Sokoto refugee camp, which is the user group where the people, my target people, are living. And their livelihood before this was agriculture, driving, and carpentry. And these people have no work permit in their place and are just sitting and are just staying unemployed in their place. So this is the master plan of my site, like the town. And you see that the purple one, the purple border is my site. And in the site, if we see the first and the fourth map, we see that there is a need of heritage center in the site. So if we see the second map, there is a road encroachment in the town area. So the town planners have developed a satellite development concept for this site. So if we see the third map, there is the ring road, the blue color, which is a proposed road map for 2041. And for my site analysis, it will be 38.9 hectares, and inside the site is 50% of hills and 50 plains. And towards the east and the west, we have two hills, and then there is a wet rice cultivation flowing in between where construction is not allowed. And for my site zoning, I have divided the site into 3 zones according to culture. The east side being the Chin area, and the west side the Zo, and towards the north the Kuki people, which I have said before as the geographical location for my concept. And then they will each have 3 cultural towers, which we will see later, and it will also be pedestrian friendly and cycling friendly. And towards the right we can see the contour maps. So this is what the site plan would be looking like. I have taken the evolution map that we have seen before as a development for my site plan, where it will be starting with this area, and here there will be the from the Chiang people, how they came into Mizoram. So here there will be the Chin people coming down, and then the houses will be there, Chin houses, and Chin tourist village will be there, and Oak Tasar plantation, and here, this will be where they start their evolution from, and they will move further down here, and then the weavers will be here, as we have said in the map before, and there will be the river, the border river that flows in between, and after they cross that is the Zo area here. And the Kuki area, the Manipur area, will be here, where they have mainly bamboo construction and bamboo firms there. So first, let's talk about the Chin Tower, which will be in the Myanmar area. It has a structural supports like threads, and inside that holds up the tower, and the staircase like a strap woven around it. I also placed it in Myanmar area to indicate the birthplace of weaving culture, and we can also see the 4 colors of the walkways, which I have taken from reference from the natural dyes like indigo, turmeric, and all. The second one is the Kuki Tower, which will be giving tribute to the art of craftsmanship and artistry, and it's also to denote the shared heritage in Cabo Valley with our ancestors. And the next one is the Zo Tower, which will be in the Zo area, where the tower's DNA shape with a central sphere represents a heart symbolizing their culture. So this is the Chin area. The first, the Chiang houses where the first ancestors were living, which is made of stone. And this is the Chiang tourist village, which is mainly a recreational area, and its areas will be used. This is the silk pot stay. There are 2 reasons why I called it silk pot stay. One is the revival in textile production, and another is because the Oak Tasar plantation is there. And the frames will be made of CLT wood, and the membranes inside will be made of ferrocement or some pneumatic inflatable structures. And this sites woven fabrics, textiles, furnitures, and all displayed inside. This is the museum, and each block is similar, and one block is depicting one place, and this is the section, and you can see a linear movement, so you have to climb up the stairs and go to the footbridge, and then further climb down the other stairs to go to the other block. And I have also created prototypes because recently we faced a lot of the cyclone Remal have cost us about 30 lives in our place, and also the collapse of around hundreds of houses. So this is the reason why I have come up with the housing. Prototype 1 is a stone-filled gabion wall house, where the walls will be made of gabion stones to resist lateral pressures. And at daytime it will be used for a bamboo craft center, and at night it will be for a family housing. Also, the roof will be of Tetra Pak roofing, which is made of aluminum foil and recycled polyethylene. Number 2 is a log house, which is the traditional one that we have in our place. The columns will be made of oak, teak, and sal, and then like we can see, and the rafters will be also made of wood. And this one is the common bamboo house where the local village head or the regional head will be staying, and then the upper floors we have, it's divided into two. The right side is used for crafting and the left side will be used for drying. And then we can see towards the right plan there, it's a ground floor plan where it is a living area, dining, sanitary facilities, and sleeping. So we can see from the section the divisional of the space vertically. And number 4 is all bamboo construction. The only thing that I have changed here, like it's a cultural thing that we have, the only thing that I changed here is that I have used more number of columns. So this will be the elevation sections. And this one, prototype 5, is a concealed bamboo construction. It serves a dual purpose. I wanted to show how bamboo can be highlighted as an ornamental purpose as well as a structural element. And this is the last one, bamboo's expressive edge. I have made this to create to show how bamboo can be used in our place, which is an earthquake-prone area, and also to reduce the floor space and to increase the utility of the space vertically. And that's it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
So what I wanted to ask is our vernacular architecture, in its essence, is very sensitive to the way, to the climate, to the material, to the construction technology, okay? And that has evolved over a period of time. So बहुत ही foolproof है. It's like, so taking that as a base, instead, I thought when I'm looking at the project, it looks more like a amusement park where you're trying to create all kinds of forms, which do not
Relate to each other.
do not relate to, even in terms of its material, in terms of its construction technique, in terms.
Ma'am, it's a question or it's an
So
observation?
these are my observations.
Ma'am, it's a question or it's an
So
observation?
these are my observations. If you want to,
Okay.
justify what you've done.
I was looking.
So my question here was, I think my observation is to tell you that you have so many buildings, but your narrative is not linking that buildings together to a plot. You're looking at everything as a unitary, isolated building. How is it linking? What is the story behind it? How is it linking? Is completely missing. So if you were to tell us how all these buildings are linked, my larger question to you is, who uses these buildings? You've not told, this is completely isolated from people using it. Who uses these buildings? You're making this as a museum. Is this a social infrastructure that you're creating for the space, for the village? Are you looking at people to come and use it? Who's going to use these things?
Sir,
Or is it an experimental facility?
Yes, sir. It's the prototypes one was an experimental one because there have been a lot of collapsing of houses that we have in our place. Like I'm from a contour side, the hilly areas, and so I wanted to experiment what kind of buildings can we have in our place.
Choice than showing us 20 samples. Where is your museum? Where have you kept all prototypes? And how are they all linked? Is it 3 sites or is it 1 site? That's missing.
Okay, sir.
You're not very clear about telling us whether it is just that one independent site or are you handling it over 3 sites?
Sir, it's actually the reason why I've chosen this one also is because I wanted a river that flows in between. So that made my site became bigger than it actually was planned before. So I've indicated here that where the towers will be placed, red ones, and where each. From here we can see how the cultural spatial division will be there, and here how the communities and how each community will be taking care of the business models and existing vegetation strategies, and from hydrology map and slope analysis map, how I have placed the blocks inside. The thing is, my project was quite big, so I was trying to fit and cram it up in 15 minutes. So otherwise, I would have time to explain. Like, if you say the museum circulation, so we can see from this section, and this is the floor plans. Like, it'll be of, there won't be like a physical, tangible, like models, but I mean, there will be writings and art galleries, but objects like that will be sitting on the floor won't be placed there.
Congratulations for making it here.
Thank you, ma'am.
So my question is, we are talking about employment as well, right? So I think there were two things that you were trying to say. One is loom and weaving. The other is farming.
Yes, ma'am.
So in the design, I am not able to see where are these spaces. I mean, if we are doing loom, probably there is a certain process of it, right? So these process.
Ma'am, usually in this site, it's like this water body. There are fishes that are staying. There is a wet rice cultivation where this fish rice duck integrated system is going on, and there is azolla farming also. So like it's totally natural, and there is no use of fertilizers and all. So the fishes I forgot the word, aerobate or aero something. They give oxygen to the rice cultivation. So the farmers cultivate ducks and fishes to take care of the farmlands also. So we don't usually, in our culture, we don't usually have cattle farming or anything like that. So
Yeah, and for the weaving thing, the process of
ma'am,
weaving,
the weaving thing,
where do you accommodate
like,
that?
Ma'am, this area, this Hukong Valley, 21 houses will be for the weaving. And the thing is, in our culture, almost all the women in our in each family are like back in the history were experienced in weaving. So in each house there is a balcony that rise up, and so there they had their weaving looms. So that is where they place. But ma'am, unfortunately, I couldn't keep the drawing is in my AutoCAD version. I didn't render it in this one. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The last presenter will be announced by Professor Hajela.
Congratulations to the last presenter. The code is AEATSC 24103. Urban and Cultural Hub at Sabarmati, Ahmedabad.
Have you checked your presentation? We are now ready to listen to AEAT SC 24120. Can I have that? Holistic Handloom Hub, a sustainable hub for weaver empowerment and water stewardship in Shantipur, West Bengal.
cultural belt. So over there are like 3 places, mainly the Murshidabad, Shantipur and Hooghly. And in 3 places there are, the important factors are like they had muslin, handloom and jute. And I have tried to connect a tourist circuit and promote a cultural heritage. So why Shantipur and why handloom? What they need and what they have. So the key issues that I've identified are the credit challenges, the escalating input cost, the external market connectivity issue, workforce migration to alternative fields, that's with the declining culture over there, raw material procurement and concerns. What are the aims, objectives? My project has got 3 E's, that is the environment, equity and economy. So it aims to target these 3 E's. My aim is to create a single hub for the weavers in Shantipur with multiple objectives, including preventing exploitation, generating employment and connecting with the fashion industry by promoting collaboration amongst the locals, government officials, visitors and other stakeholders. So the scopes include connects it, and also it has important parts like there are different dyeing mart around the site, and the Hooghly River also village. I have just studied how the dyeing is done, how the squares are formed organically. So my site being a very important aspect in the rural setting, so it plays a very important role. That's why I studied Wagdu. And then over here, I have studied the networking of the entire site plan, how it's done, how the natural spaces are integrated. This case study is very small, but it plays an important role because the workshop spaces are connected in a very unique way with the rural setting. So my site also gives a similar vibe. So studying this helped me to understand how the undiscovered potential of talented people in this, peri-urban area can be utilized through natural openings. So it's connected with the Shialda junction in West Bengal, the Shantipur junction, and then to the Motigaj More. And I will just go down through the site study as we have a little bit of time. So in this landform area, we could see that there's a slope running to the southern part, and there's a lot of water bodies and vegetation in my site around, and I've identified all the plants, and my design aims to keep the vegetation of that area intact. I've gone through the climate and the orientation. So it's a very humid area, an annual precipitation of around 160.6 mm, and so site in the southern part, the southwestern part, the site is exposed to the agricultural field. So my design should also, I aim to, my design to reflect that. And also in the northern and the northern part, we can see dense build forms. So a mutual shading from the build form can be employed to reduce glare. So this is the pattern, urban pattern, granular pattern of the site around there. In the lower strip aims to shows the neighborhood area of the site. It's a very vibrant character of the site with a rural setting. Because of that, the first photo shows the present condition of the site at Shantipur, and then I have connected it. I have taken the major 2 axes, that is the diagonal axis and the north-south axis. So I haven't changed any character of the site, and I have tried to orient my build form accordingly. So thus I have integrated nature with community and tried to highlight Shantipur's like handloom tradition by connecting a roof structure. So my site also shows the handloom, the handlooms through a central axis which celebrates the weaver, and it has like major points, like it weaves with the nature. It has a major focal point where 2 axes meet, and it has a hierarchy of spaces, and also there's a framing of vistas done in the site. So these are the primary development of sketches that I went through for understanding how to develop, how to integrate the handloom and the sari within the build form of my project. So mainly the site zonation, so mainly it consists of the 4 important blocks. One is the lab, that is the in the upper portion, the lab and the library. And then there is the central axis which connects with the ramp to the water body, and it celebrates the weaver community. And it's the exhibition space, the experiential center, and the workshop areas are over there. And then comes the texture block. Was initially thought of making a module which can be implemented later on to the weaver villagers, and they can relate to the cluster block, and that module can be implemented later on to the different weaver villages around. And then there's a dyeing block along the water body, as water is a very essential part of the dyeing unit over there. So I have tried to connect the dyeing block with the water body, which was already present. So this is the site plan. Though the site plan, the initial stretch of the block, the commercial block, that is the diagonal block, so it is connected with a So this block, it's connected with the admin. So this is the entrance, this is the admin, and over here, this is the private space, this is the lab, which only can be, people can go and explore that if they want to see how the dyeing, how the research is done. This is the admin, this is the commercial block. Over here, this is the gallery, this is the experiential center, and the office spaces below. And it connects with the workshop areas over here. So it kind of creates a visual connection and the horizontal connection. So when a tourist or any person comes, like to make them interested in the entire process of handloom, I have tried to create a journey through this entire block. And then it connects with a ramp to the amphitheater. And over here, fashion shows can take place. And it creates a very important fashion show venue. So like designers can go and do their fashion shows over there. And then this is the cluster part of the block, which is connected towards the weavers village, which is already there in this part of the site. And then there's a dyeing block over here. So like people can come and can experience the entire dyeing process also, and through exhibitions and all. So in this block, I would like to explain in detail. So this is the exhibition and the gallery part. And this is the exhibition and the gallery part. This is a simple, I have tried to follow the hierarchy of spaces through the courtyard spaces over here. And this is for the lab block, because it's very important for natural light and natural air to come in while the entire experiments are done. And this is, I have tried to create a very rural kind of architectural style with jalis over there for ventilation, so that it connects with the people working over there. And this is this is the lab block render, and this is how the entire space will be inside the lab block. And I wanted the light to come in, so that because as I had a talk with them, they said that they want a very they don't want something which is marvelous, with a very important, like out of the world architecture building. They want something so that they can relate to. So because of that, my entire idea was to make buildings which are yet architecturally, it upholds the space, but yet gives that essence of rural setting. So this is the basic render of the dyeing block. And yes.
Has taken shape. Can we go to the master plan, please?
So this is the.
I have to also appreciate the grand narrative that you went through, because it covered most of the ideas that went in through the project. Having said that, some of your drawings are not very clear. Like, for example, the site plan itself is not very clear, doesn't indicate which are the built versus what is open. So can we go to a much more clearer plan which indicates some parts of your project? So let's leave it to this. The idea is that your work.
The rural character of that space, it creates a unique identity, but still it's rural, and a weaver can connect with it. And like I have done a survey with the weavers, and all their points, like the amount of light they need, where they need, and how they need, I have done over here. I went through that, and accordingly I have designed the cluster blocks, the lab blocks, and the main focus of my project is this diagonal axis that I have been talking about. That is the that celebrates the weaver community. Like they will be walking in places which are quite comfortable to them, but yet they will look up to something that will inspire them in all together. So this axis plays a very important role in inspiring the weavers over there, as it celebrates
You've
the
not
community.
answered my question. My question is how vernacular you've gone through. Have you built out of RCC, steel and aluminium?
No, I have just.
So let's answer that question.
Yes.
So answer the question.
So exactly, I have worked on exposed brick patterns, and I haven't used RCC column. For the modular structure also, I have used like bamboo stilts and bamboo structures with
Which of your drawing clarity?
Okay, I can go through the modular structure. So like the jalis and all I have used over here. So this is one of the modules that I have worked on, and it has timber beam and column structure with stilted bamboo strips for ventilation. So I wanted to create a modular structure which kind of connects with the
All right,
neighbors.
thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My question is that this making of fabric, it would go into, there are various stages and there are various processes.
Yes, ma'am.
And probably each process
Yes,
would
ma'am.
need
Placed it accordingly, and
the amount of rain that is there. So how do you justify that?
yes, ma'am. So so ma'am, only this portion of the building has an open structure. In part of it, there are like galleries and all, but I have kept a light kind of jali in the roof structure, and over there I have overlaid the clothing kind of framed structures over there, and the entire thought was to connect the clothes, and so that
Different.
yes, ma'am.
Three have a different size of the footprints.
Yes, ma'am.
The articulation is different. Even the scale is different.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So it doesn't appear to me, if I'm looking at it, it doesn't appear to me as one entire whole, one whole. So my question is, why do you need, and when you're breaking it also, if there is a change, then there has to be some kind of a,
Connectivity.
element that defines that change,
Yes, ma'am.
which is not there. So I see a very loose-ended one.
Yes, ma'am. They can go to
So
that area.
So even if they are supposed to go to that area, what I'm trying to say is that 1, 2, and 3, they need to connect somewhere or some place.
Ma'am, architecturally, through the identity of the space altogether, I would say that yes, somewhere it's connected because of the materials, the exposed brick and the open planning and jalis and the stilted bamboo material that I've used. Overall, if I view a place in that way, it's
Thank you. The last presentation of the day is AEATSC 24103, Urban and Cultural Hub at Sabarmati, Ahmedabad.
So my site is located right in the center, like the heart of the city, on the juncture of the river, the old city, and the new city towards the other side of the river. So Ahmedabad as a city is divided, established around 600 years ago, actually more than that, and it's divided by the Sabarmati river, which is like a monsoon-fed river. And now, in recent times, the riverfront opened in around 2012. Is the first of India's riverfront development initiative. So the site at the center of the city and at the riverfront holds huge potential to unlock those lost charms from the old city and to revive the urban environment. So as a starting point, what I delved into was to studying how the river was and what it actually meant to the city and how it has transformed from washing clothes at the ghats, from holding circus, from having a 600-year-old Gujari Bazaar that happens to be right at the place when the river was dried up, and then it used to take place at the coast plains, and that is the reclaimed land. Identified various issues that happened due to it being the first kind of its project in India. So to understand how urban rivers could be treated and how we could kind of impose a way to reconnect the rivers back to the cities. The problem being that people are seeking the water connect, the disconnected upper and lower promenades, the disconnection from cultural heritage. So these were pointers that represented in this scheme. So my and the big scale, the informal and the formal, and which allows the smallest units and the least powerful workers to operate alongside the largest units and the most powerful economic players. So this was a kind of approach that I focused on. I had a few case studies since the site's program was to be a cultural center, and so I researched on exhibition and cultural centers. The bazaar being a very important aspect of the project because of the presence of Gujari Bazaar right at the right in the vicinity, and obviously the riverfront of how highlighted area is the newly allocated area for the Gujari Bazaar that used to happen across the river. So it is placed right here, and it is right opposite to the site, across. So my intent through the site study, through the research, through the context study was a few of the pointers that like I earlier said, to establish a connect between the old city and the new city through this pathway, through this connection that I have, and to bring the bazaar to the riverfront and activate the riverfront to be full of the representation of the public life of Ahmedabad, showing the local art, the various artists' exhibits, the outdoor exhibition, open-air theatres, the riverfront plaza, food courts and workshops. So this was further of the program analysis. And the design determinants being to bringing the city closer to the water, activating the site using green spaces and the public life thing, and creating and the people, and that itself is the exhibit. So these are the few concept sketches where a play of levels to interact with the river, as well as built up relationship, and to bring the Gujari Bazaar here, which is at the riverfront level is at a +7 level, considering the river to be a 0-0 because of the high flood line level, which has only occurred twice. So the concept revolves around making an urban traverse along the riverfront, where the city, the rich cultural and historical traverse, and while the ground floor stands vacated, the built rises up, and the whole of the promenade is for the public to flow. So this is the site. So I created an urban park over here, considering how active the riverfront becomes in the mornings, with people jogging, exercising, and catering to those needs of the users. Where the original promenade being only 10 meters, I extended it and made steps for people to sit on, watch the sunset, and made it into an urban park here. The built is only in the central area, and the bazaar below it. It will more clearly show in the sections. And then there's an event place because of how vibrant the festivals of Gujarat lead you into the market, and finally you can experience a clear passage and a plaza below also, while there's an above ground plaza which also connects to the greens on the either sides. As soon as you enter, you see a bustling place where there is market underneath, a bridge in the front, the river at the front, and arranged around the courtyard, and there are few pockets where like when you are scrolling through the art galleries and then you see outside and of how this is planned for. This is the side plan of how this is planned for. This is the side plan. So, one second. How do I zoom it? Oh, okay. So this is the side plan for you to see more clearly how this is the entry. This is the entry, and these are the escalators to lead you down and straight, establishing this connectivity. And these are the ghats right across the riverfront, and these are the cutouts for the market. And these are stramps which connect the market to the site linearly.
Congratulations for making till here. My question is, when you say that you would be retaining the old city essence of Ahmedabad, how have you retained it in your design?
So the proposition being the use of courtyards, use of traditional materials like wood, and I used my main narrative would be to following like an urban traverse kind of a gully kind of an experience through the build that happened, which had various pockets of things that usually happens when we travel through a narrow lane where there are shops.
Can you show it in drawings?
Yeah. So in this floor plan, this is the first floor plan. So when you enter here on the ground floor, this is the staircase that you see. And one concept also being staircases used as social spaces, where in the courtyards, I've made like staircases which are just not plain staircases but have places to sit, places to interact. So it's more of a public space than just a means of traveling to one level, from one level to another. So this highlighted part that comes, it's basically like a journey that the user takes while entering the cultural center. So you enter into the art galleries, then you stop to look by the river, and then you further continue on the ramp where there are exhibits on either sides and places to sit, a small cafe, a souvenir shop. Further from here,
Do you have a view
for what?
for the same, the
Yeah,
path?
1 second. So this is the entrance staircase, and 1 second. You cannot see that clearly here, but you can see like seating spaces here, planters, and activities for people, and this is the ramp area that goes up. So and here as well. So these are the lane, like the ramp the people take, the ramps the people take, and have little things like a gully that you experience.
Okay, so when you're talking about weaving the two things together,
Sorry, I didn't get you.
have you read how aesthetic defines, or maybe how she has written about the process or the transfer? What?
I still didn't get whose research.
So when you're saying weaving the two different times maybe together, so as how Esther David defines the transformation?
No, so my research basically delved into Indian literature more. Like I read through Rahul Mehrotra's works, Ananya Roy's works, and more of how they apply. So I must have missed that one.
Okay. Just a curious question, because you picked up one side of the river, because there are two sides. One is the new, the other is the old.
Yeah.
So you picked up one. If you would have designed it to the other side, what would be your considerations, which is different from the ones you have now?
So a very good question, and like a very good strength for my side was the Gujri Bazaar and my attempt to bring it through. and that was my duty as being like choosing this side. But like if it had been on the opposite side, so the opposite side of the, one second, I'll show. On this side, so it has a full of an institutional area. That right
settlement, which is got a certain character, and that is how you begin with saying that, you know, the development on the other side and the development on this side. So this side has to respond to the culture of the people on this side. Now, if I'm looking at your design, so 2-3 things like the character, the scale of that project does not in any way relate to the older settlement in its scale. Okay. The second is, so agar hum older settlement dekhte hain, you know what happens is, so usually in older part of the cities, था जहाँ पे लोग मिलते थे एक दूसरे से, वहाँ पे एक चबूतरा, एक पेड़, एक मंदिर होके people would interact there. While in the newer developments you have these crossings where you want to just quickly cross away and move out, right? Now if I'm having the Atal Bridge there, which is a pedestrian walkway, and then you showed one access that goes to the older part of the city, right? So that is the chalk that we usually see in older part of the cities, which it becomes the hub of, you know, various, you know, in a way, people coming together and interacting at that spot.
Definitely.
I thought that was grossly overlooked. And the scale of even the volumes, the massing, you know, one big block tended to do.
Just a few things that, thank you for like indicating, like this is the Atal Bridge that comes here. So here creating a sunken sort of a plaza invites people to stop over, like what my intent was, invites people to meet over and stop over and then kind of merge together. So it's not just being segregated.
I also said, जब ये चौक मिलता है तो वहाँ पे एक चबूतरा होता है, एक मंदिर होता है, so there are activities that hold people, right? You need to have some kind of an activity that holds people.
Here I thought they were like retail and eateries which pulls people because there's a thing to do. So that was my intent for this thing. And for the second
respond to that is how we begin, right? Your intent was that. So when we're intending to respond to that scale and suddenly we come up with huge columns, mushroom columns and large volumes, you know, suddenly what happens is these people jinke liye tum bana rahe, they do not relate to it. It is more intimidating for them, you understand?
Yeah,
so that is what my concern is. Then it doesn't become for them. It is for people from outside who will come and enjoy. I'm not denying that. I'm asking it is for the if it is for the
linear way where the riverfront is accessible, but it does not limits to that. The ramp all through the build also has access to all of it. It's not just the underground area. So the function kind of happens all above, but right, I respect your point.
Okay, so we understand that the fabric of the city on the other side is much different from the fabric of the old city. And it was much easier to do the riverfront development because it responds to the fabric on the other side, and the permeability allows for it to happen. This is much more complex because of what happens behind it. As much as I would like to, you know, reflect on what they have indicated, I thought if, you know, the one thing that stands out is the size of this project. Okay, it is a huge structure. Because of its volumes, it's very large. I think if you had been a little more sensitive to understand, I think it would have pegged itself much better, right? The historic reference is missing, contextually is missing. Now, you have of it, I think it would have pegged itself much better. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. It was a very long and exciting day to hear all the people and their thoughts. We now come to the close of all the presentations.
I request everyone to kindly go for a short tea break. The participants can come with us. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Proceeding forward with the event, I would like to invite all the guests and dignitaries on the dais for a brief discussion and their valuable insights.
Invite all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
So good evening, everyone. It was an amazing experience. I hope you've all had as amazing an experience. For all who won, so the intent of the studio or the intent of your thesis becomes very important, and which I feel that even when you start your thesis, you start with an intent or an objective where what you want to do, whether it's a large span structure you want to focus on, or social concerns, or services, sustainability, you can be very clear about it. The second thing is, we come up with large, elaborate, topics, which will have eco-sensitive, sustainable, everything, One thing, if, you are expecting a cake out of me, and I just give you a cake, but I also decorate it with icing and, a cherry and everything, you'll be happy. So you promise less and you give more. Then
First of all, congratulations to each and every participant who has been here, because you are the chosen one from your institute. So I guess you have won it there itself. Secondly, I want to tell you that as she has also somewhere mentioned, that it may not be a very elaborate or a very big project. It could be a small house. But then finally, what is our language of or medium of communication has to be strongly seen. That is the drawings, the sections, the elevations, the technicalities which are needed for understanding those. You should do a very good literature. So there are people who have done extensive literature study, try to pick up certain aspects which are there. Lastly, I would say context, responding to context is something which is very much important. So in every project, either it is not, it is not having a very strong context. Still, some people have not responded saying that it doesn't have a very strong context. Still, there are some contextual aspects that a designer should hunt for and look for it. So that are some of my observations. Finally, I would again repeat that the path to success is full of failures also many a times, but then you should not.
The idea of trying to compete is not to be pulled up as the first or second candidate. It's to also share information that you are trying to also work towards indicating what sort of work goes on in your own college. And I think that's the whole idea of COA, putting this entire platform together to bring colleges so that everyone sees what sort of work happens in each other's college. It's important to compete and be going to do this as a project. It needs to come from an intuitive based exercise for yourself, where you sit and work out what is it that you think is relevant, whether it's a socially relevant project or an architecturally relevant project, has to be worked out. And only through a process that you identify what you need to do. So careful when you try and even name the projects. that it sort of ties you down. When you name the project in some complicated way, it'll tie you down because people are looking at what is the topic and seeing whether it has got any reference to the projects that you've done. All right, so as you go.
24. Sandali Rathore from Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Ripples and Reflection, A Story of Water, Udaipur. Sandali is present here. Okay, next we have Muskan Arora from Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Experience Cultural Landscape Region, Majoli, Assam. Katyayani Mishra from Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Atal Gram, Architectural Tapestry along Legends of Ganga Riverfront and Museum, Kanpur. Aishwarya Sinha from Faculty of Architecture, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, West Bengal. Holistic Handloom Hub, a sustainable hub for weaver empowerment and water steward in Shantipur, West Bengal. Momita Pal from School of Architecture, Techno India University, Kolkata, West Bengal. Marina Central, a multimodal transit hub for urban connectivity at Targar, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. Muskan Jaiswal from Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Rejuvenation of Fishing Village, Worli, Koliwada. Angela Roy from Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Chitkara University, Rajpura, Punjab. Dhara, Center for Urban Farming and Commerce. Prateek Saini from Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Chitkara University, Rajpura, Punjab. Inayat Gupta from Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Chitkara University, Rajpura, Punjab. Radha Sahadev from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, multi-story and experiential cinema hub, Lado Sarai in New Delhi. Soumya Jain from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, Urban Plus Cultural Hub at Sabarmati, Ahmedabad.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would request sir to please do the felicitation. Sangini Gupta, School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. Reviving Chirag, Delhi, Redefining Urban Narratives. Angela Lal Thakimi, Royal School of Architecture, Guwahati, Assam. Beyond the Borders, Zoo Cultural Village, Champhai, Mizoram. Manoj Kumar Jeena, Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan. House of Indian Architecture, Nagpur. Vaibhav Patidar, Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur. Geo Astral, The Convergence of Crater and Cosmos, Ramgarh, Baran. Shishir Jain, Ayojan School of Architecture. Campus, Center for Animation, Movies, Production, UI UX. Hardik Sharma, Ayojan School of Architecture, Cybersphere, an Innovative Hub, Gurugram. Mitali Jain, Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Vivekanand Global University, Jaipur. Eco-Conscious Gem and Jewelry Park, Howrah. Rudrani Kundu, Amity School of Architecture and Planning, Amity University, Kolkata. A Lexicon of Creativity, Center for Performing Arts and Crafts. Khadija Arshad, Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. Redevelopment of Prayagraj Junction Railway Station. Harshita Neema, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Premodaya Learning Center for Autistic Individual. Karthik Kuhade, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University, Jaipur. Nav Chetna Kendra. Kanan in Design, Manipal University, Jaipur, International Airport. Thank you so much, sir. I'll request ma'am to please come onto the stage. Ishita Kukreja from Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Chitkara University, Rajpura. Nalanda University. Kudrat Rehan, Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Chitkara University, Spectra. Raghav Gupta, Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture, Urban Oasis and Integrated Mixed-Use Commercial Development. Muskan Gupta, University School of Architecture and Planning, GGSIPU, Delhi. Reimagining Mixed-Use Residential. Jaskaran Singh, Pandha, School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, Tech Museum, Sector 11, Dwarka, New Delhi. Ayush Pathrabe, School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, Eco-Interactive Nexus, fusing sustainable workspaces with eco-sensitive waterfront. Sejal Jalan, Royal School of Architecture, Guwahati, Assam. Renewal Oasis, Rehabilitation Center for Rescued Sex Workers, Sonapur, Assam.
The next category that we have is Students Award for Excellence in Documentation of Architectural Heritage 2024. This certificate is awarded to Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan for the documented project titled Sacred Architecture of Devyani Sarovar. Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan for the documented project titled Odi Bhavan. Faculty of Architecture, Zakir Hussain College of Engineering and Technology, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, for the documented project titled Documentation of Messed in Swimming Pool. Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan, for the documented project titled Craft Community of Kethun, Kota. Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University, Jaipur, for the documented project titled Documentation of Mandava Haveli, Shekhawati. Ayojan School of Architecture, Jaipur, Rajasthan, for the documented project titled Indigenous Dwellings. Department of Architecture, Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women, Delhi, for the documented project titled Kart Culture, the craft of building in Koti Banal village, Uttarakhand. School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, for the documented project titled Architectural Documentation of Rakh Village, Himachal Pradesh. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guest, Architect Jayashree Deshpande, Dr. Rama R. Subramaniam, and Professor Amit Hajela to the stage to announce the jury result.
Yes.
Rahul ji, chairs.
बैठिए आप लोग. While we are waiting for a couple of chairs more to be added here, I think let me perform a very important duty. As a representative of the academic unit of the Council of Architecture, I would like to place on record my heartfelt gratitude to the team at Poornima University at Jaipur for the excellent work that they have done over the past more than a month. The preparations that have gone into making this program a success are something that you have to experience to understand the depth to which one has to go to. And I must say that team Poornima University has done a fantastic job. The experience here was amazing, and I think this is something that all of us are going to be remembering for a long time. In recognition of their wonderful work, I would like to offer a certificate of appreciation to the team. I'd like to invite Architect Neeti Khanna and Architect Sandeep Kumar to please come over. I invite Architect Amit Hajela sir and Dr. Rama Subramaniam to please come up and do the honors. आइए दोनों साथ में. I would like to invite Architect Manjari Rai also on the stage, please. We have given the certificates of participation to all the participants who had submitted an entry in this zone. Now, I'm happy to be awarding the certificates of merit. These go to the 5 students in each category who were invited to present their project after having been shortlisted by our panel of eminent jurors. And these 5 have presented their work during the day, gone through
some intense discussions with the jury panel, and the jury panel has given me the names of the 2 winners who will represent this zone at the nationals, but we will come to that a little later. I would like to award these certificates of merit. I invite Sejal Jalan from Royal School of Architecture, Guwahati, Assam, for her project Renewal Oasis Rehabilitation Center for Rescued Sex Workers from Sonapur, Assam. I request Professor Manjiri Rai to please do the honors. Ayush Patrabe, School of Architecture. Thank you, ma'am. I would now invite Dr. Rama to please award the next certificates. Khadija Arshad from Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Technical University, Lucknow. Development of Prayagraj Junction Railway Station. Since morning we were referring to all these participants only by their code numbers, so now it is nice to know their names and their school names. Jaskaran Singh Panda from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. Tech Museum, Sector 11, Dwarka, New Delhi. And Architecture, New Delhi. Multi-Story and Experiential Cinema Hub, Ladosarai, New Delhi. Aishwarya Sinha, Faculty of Architecture, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, West Bengal. Holistic Handloom Hub, a sustainable hub of weaver empowerment and water stewardship in Shantipur, West Bengal. Angela Lalita Kimi, Royal School of Architecture, Guwahati, Assam. Beyond the entire cycle of this awards program. Very soon we will be in touch with all of you to get your bank account details and so that we can share the cash prize with you. Also, we will be in touch with you shortly for detailed drawings on your project, because your projects are going to be published in the book titled Archiving Architectural Thesis, which is published by Council every year on every cycle of the awards program. So each one of you, I urge you to please respond to the calls that you will get from the design team and submit your best work so that it gets published in a book, which is respond to our mails and our calls. The Council of Architecture will provide you support for national jury if you do at that level. So, shall I announce? Yes, yes. Any guests? Eco-interactive nexus using sustainable workspaces with Ecostic Handloom Hub, a sustainable hub for weaver empowerment and water stewardship in Shantipur, West Bengal. She comes from, what do you tell us the name of your school?
Jadavpur University.
Jadavpur University, Kolkata. Congratulations. So that brings us to the end of this awards program. In Zone 1, we have 4 more zones to go, so there is 1 month, almost 1.5 months before the 2 winners will be invited to present their work. Don't miss it, you must be there. Irrespective of whatever your other commitments, do come, and we will see the best projects being presented before the entire country. Thank you everybody, and good luck to both participants.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coordinating. Now proceeding forward, I would like to proceed with the felicitation of our esteemed guests. I would like to invite Professor Manjri Rai, Dean, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University, to felicitate Professor Anand Krishnamurthy, Principal in Charge, Wadiyar Center for Architecture, Mysore, with a memento as a token of gratitude.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to invite Architect Richa Chavan Puri, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University, to felicitate Dr. Amble, Associate Professor at Institute of Architecture and Planning, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, with a memento as a token of gratitude.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Mr. Pavan Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor, FPA, Poornima University, to felicitate Architect Vipa Jariwala, Associate Professor at Ideas, Nagpur, with a memento as a token of gratitude.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Architect Neeti Khanna, Associate Professor, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Saubhagya Sharma, Assistant Professor, FPA, Poornima University, to felicitate Architect Jayashri De, token of gratitude.
Greetings to one and all present here. I am Neeti Khanna, Associate Professor, Faculty of Planning and Architecture, Poornima University. And it is my honor to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all present here. I would like to thank the management of Poornima University for their constant support, invaluable support, to my architect Sandeep and all the dedicated faculties of Poornima University. Your enthusiasm made this event successful and this event possible. A special thanks to all talented students of Faculty of Planning and Architecture and all the participants who came a long way to present their work here. Your creativity truly made this event shine. My sincere gratitude goes to the jury members for their time and thoughtful feedback. Council of Architecture coordinators for their seamless coordination. A very special thanks for her leadership and unwavering support and guidance throughout this journey. Thank you all for making this event a successful one. Thank you.
I would now request everyone to kindly stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा.
An important announcement, kindly pay heed. All the participants who want the sheets back can collect it. All the participants, I repeat, who want to collect their sheets back can do it now after the event. Only the selected one will be kept over here. I request everyone to come on the stage for a group photograph. All the participants come on the stage for a group photograph.